So this is the self-development with tactics book.
So, today's episode is gonna be about habits and how to stick to your habits. Once again, as yesterday, I think yesterday the second one or the first one, I don't remember, it might be the third one as well. No, I think that was Friday. But yeah, today's gonna be about James Clear's article on habits and how to stick to habits, and actually the paperclip strategy. You know, it is an extra article on the paperclip strategy. It's been an amazing one. If you haven't checked out the first one, there is the first one. This is the second one. First one is from yesterday, and today is the 26th of August. Yeah, and I'm 174 meters high. Don't know what that's in foot, but yeah, you know, because never mind. See you after the intro. Just because you've gotten a few just unnecessary information already. But yeah, with that being said, hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics fucking podcast. I'm freaking pumped. I'm so happy to be here. It is amazing. You know, each day, nearly every day, every day, I'm feeling really, really, really happy to sit here and being able to provide you with something and provide myself with something as well. You know, I do not want to miss it out. I do not want to just deny that. Don't want to be like, yeah, I'm only doing this for somebody else. I'm doing it for me and for you. But yeah, yesterday we've gone through the general kind of, tactic or the procedure of the paperclip strategy. And it is basically like for all those people that do not want to just rewatch and or watch the other episode as well, just because it's, you know, taking some time. Here's the short version. The short version is you're having a few paper clips. Might it be 10, might it be 20? It just really depends on your task. For example, you're willing to do 10 push-ups every single day. Then you're having 10 paper clips. Those 10 paper clips are in a glass or whatever, and you have an empty jar or glass as well. The strategy is the following one. You know, for each push-up that you're doing, you're gonna take one paper clip from the full jar and put it into the empty jar. And that's quite it. And that's really it. And today, and it works. By the way, you know, it really works. It is a good way. And we are talking about today, it's going to be about why it works, you know, which I assume it is the case. And I actually believe it is the case, you know, and I actually also know that it is the case, that it is working. And I've actually read the article beforehand. So therefore, I'm not going to be just not knowing what I'm going through today. But yeah, there's a lot of great explanations and there's a lot of great reasons why it is actually working, which is great, which is enormously great, which is amazing, which is good. Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, you know, without further ado, we're just heading right into the article when I've actually got the article right here. Yeah. So, here are a few reasons visual cues, you know, the paperclip strategy and or paperclips as such are visual cues, and visual cues are basically like visual triggers, because cues are actually, or cues is another word for trigger. So here are a few reasons visual cues work well for building new good habits, you know, because we don't want to build bad habits, you know, we want to build good fucking habits, obviously, like, really. Obviously, but never mind. Visual cues remind you to start a behavior. And actually, to be honest, I've only thought about I think two of them, you know, two of those 4 to 5 points that he's pointing out right there. And it is amazing because there's actually quite a lot of reasons why you should be doing this and why you should be just trying it out when you are willing to start a new habit or when you're willing to build a new habit. It is just actually insane, you know, how good the paperclip strategy and or all visual cue strategies are. It is really, really, really interesting. So visual cues remind you to start a behavior. We often lie to ourselves about our ability to remember to perform a new habit. I'm going to start eating healthier for real this time. A few days later, however, the motivation fades and the business of life begins to take over again. hoping you will simply remember to do a new habit is usually a recipe for failure. This is why a visual stimulus like a bin full of paper clips can be so useful. It is much easier to stick with good habits when your environment nudges you in the right directions. It basically reminds you that there is something going on, that you're trying to build a new behavior, that you're trying to build a new habit. And even though you might be forgetting it, and even though there's just definitely going to be the fact that, when it is some paper clips and it is like in your work or something, you might be ignoring them. You might be not seeing them. You might be having them in a corner in your home where you're not seeing them, where you're ignoring them, where they're just not as present as they should be. So maybe it is also a good strategy to put them into a place where you definitely are, where you're definitely going to recognize them, and where you're definitely also going to be remembered of what you're trying to do with them. Like, paper clips in your working area probably going to be there, whether you're doing the strategy or not, or trying the strategy or not. So first of all this, and second of all, I really believe that it is a great reminder, a really great reminder for you to, basically remind yourself on that there's actually something going on there, that you're actually willing to do something, because as you already pointed out, actually hoping for the habit to kick in each day is probably not the best thing. The habit that I'm struggling with at the time is actually brushing my teeth in the morning, because I've somehow replaced that habit of brushing my teeth with working in the morning, or just, actually making myself a tea. I've started to make myself a tea each morning. I've never been drinking anything the past 5 years before. Just, it felt like this, probably not, probably I've been just drinking something here and there, but not every day, not in such a row, actually. It's actually a chain of me drinking tea in the morning, which has been never the thing. Like, I've never been drinking anything. It is not about tea, it is about drinking anything in the morning. It is insane. And, well, it is really not such a good thing, And I'm also thinking about having paper clips, or something else that I'm moving on my desk each day, because I'm sitting on my desk each day. I'm waking up and I'm recognizing it, especially when I just, make my tea, drink it, and then I sit down to work something or whatever I'm doing on my computer. I'm gonna see them, and it might be reminding me on the fact that I have to brush my teeth, even though it just sounds so fucking stupid. It is such a thing that you might be reminding your kids on, and or just children in general, but not me. I'm 18 years old right now. But but this actually verifies and actually, validates that you basically exchange habits. It is not really like, okay, you destroy one habit and you build one, but it's really like you're exchanging them. It's going to be like, okay, my habit of brushing my teeth got somehow replaced by the habit of working in the morning, because this is what I've done, or by not eating something in the morning, which is also something new that I've done or that I'm doing, which is intermittent fasting. Could also be that thing, I really don't know what it is, but I clearly know, and I've clearly seen that I've exchanged it with something. I've not destroyed it. I've not built something new that is just better than this thing. I've merely exchanged it, which is very, very interesting in my point of view. Really, very super duper interesting, Yeah, never mind. The second one, visual cues display your progress on a behavior. Everyone knows consistency is an essential component of success, but few people actually measure how consistent they are in real life. The paperclip strategy avoids that pitfall because it is a built-in measuring system. One look at your paperclips and you immediately have a measure of your progress. Something that I found is also incredibly great. It is, I think, was it the one that I thought about before? Well, yeah, I think it is actually one of the that I've been thinking about before that this strategy is doing actually, but it is such a great reminder in terms of your progress as well, because you're seeing it, just you have to see it. Like, you have to see your paper clips, been talking about before. The placement of your paper clips is going to be just really important, I assume, at least, as I'm thinking about it, as I'm just visualizing it on my desk here and just having in my aura, in my sphere. Yeah. The thing is, you clearly see each day, and therefore, having maybe not 120 paper clips is going to be just a better thing than having actually a worse thing than having 12 paper clips, because you don't see the progress as good. You won't see the progress as present or as as popping out as having just 12 paperclips. Because when you have 12 paperclips and you're moving two away, then you're probably gonna just see the difference. If you have 120 paperclips, you're probably not gonna see the difference between 120 and 118. And I guess this makes sense, but I'm just still pointing it out because to make it sure, I guess, or to make sure that everyone just knows what is going on in my head somehow as well. But yeah, I'm seeing actually a lot of encoding overload messages down there. I hope there's not a big problem around. Maybe I should actually close down fucking Photoshop. Please fuck off Photoshop. Please stay away from me and my recording because you're fucking it. It is already 10 minutes in. It is fucked up. I hope those 10 minutes haven't been that bad in terms of lags and whatever. But yeah, the paperclips are going to remind you on your progress. It is insanely good. It really is, But I think it could also stress you out to some degree, because one of the things that I immediately was thinking about is like you coming home you coming home to your desk and you're seeing like, wow, what the fuck? There is no fucking paperclip moved. No one. Not an entire one. Not one. Not two, not three, not one, nothing. Nothing is moved. And I think then if you're really strict with yourself and if you're really disciplined and if you're really if you're really trying to build that habit, if you're really trying to build it and to have it, then you're going to just get crazy, I guess. You're going to just drive crazy by that. Well, maybe this is also a good reminder, to then do it as well. Because, nobody wants to feel just really fucked up in a really late evening, before you go to bed or whatever you're doing, before you're eating something. No matter what you're doing, I think nobody's actually willing to feel really stressed out then, I guess, at least. At least it is not, for me, it is like, I'm actually such a person that is trying to do everything before a certain amount of time or before a certain let's say 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, 9 p.m., 8 p.m., so that I actually do have like an hour, half an hour to chill out. I'm doing everything before that point of time so that I actually then have some time where I can say, okay, I've done everything. Now it is time for me to rest, and I could just basically do whatever. It is good. Some people don't do that, I do understand it as well. Like, okay, there's a lot of pleasure in life and there's a lot of things in life that could be just distracting you from whatever. But yeah, for me it makes sense, just to throw it in, just to throw it into the party like a sausage, like a sausage inside my bread. When I'm not, because I think I've only just eaten like one hot dog or something, and probably the one from IKEA or IKEA. Yeah, it is from IKEA. Yeah, it probably was from IKEA. Maybe. Well, it depends on what you believe a hot dog is and, how you kind of view it and something. But I think it actually was the only one, maybe not the first, but maybe only one of the only ones. Yeah, one of the only ones. That makes sense. So visual cues can have an additive effect on motivation. And I think this is the second one that I've been thinking about before, but yeah. So as the visual evidence of your progress mounts, it is natural to become more motivated to continue the habit. The more paperclips you place in the bin, the more motivated you will become to finish the task. There are a variety of popular behavioral economics studies that refer to this as the endowed progress effect. I'm going to talk about it later. Which essentially says we place more value on things once we have them. In other words, the more paperclips you move to the completed bin, the more valuable completing the habit becomes to you. And I guess this is actually one of the obvious ones, because of course, we all maybe know, I guess, we know the moment when we have been just in a pretty long row of doing something consistently, like whether it be eating healthy or just working out or whatever it is. It feels pretty fucked up then to just break the chain or break the row or not to work out. At least it is the case for me. I don't know how you feel about things, but it is really interesting. On the other hand, what this effect is also describing is like how we value things, and it's really interesting. He linked the Wikipedia page Why? Oh, I'm not having any Wi-Fi. I didn't know that. I didn't notice, because I came home just, I don't know, a few minutes ago, and then I started recording, and this is what I've been doing today at home. Well, I took a shit, I've also done that, but yeah, the basic thing the endowed progress effect says, and this is actually applicable to quite a few things, and there have been a lot of experiments and a lot of very interesting experiments, but it basically says that once we have something, we value it actually higher than the actual price of it is. For example, if you have a mug, and you get a mug from somebody, you're gonna value the mug more just because you have it, just because you own it or you owned it. You're gonna value it higher than the actual price, the actual price people could pay it or could buy it, newly. Which means like if somebody could actually buy something new, well, it still depends on how you feel about it. If it is a mug that is really important to you, you're gonna just price it really high, or you're not even gonna change it, or you're not gonna exchange it for money or something. But it's really interesting. We value things more because it just is ours, And the funny thing is, another experiment was people have gotten a mug at first, and another group has gotten, I think, chocolate at first. But nobody wanted to trade the fucking chocolate for the fucking mug, or the other way around. It is really interesting. Like, people stick to what they've gotten. I really hope that I'm going to just recap that correctly. But the basic thing is, we value things higher, as I've said just 100 fucking times. We value things higher because it is ours than actually the new price would be, or it would be just newly or in the store or whatever. Really interesting. And there's actually some calculations they made and some graphs you can see on the Wikipedia page. It is definitely worth checking out the Wikipedia page. There's a lot of great examples. It is really not a long read. It is like, 10 minutes, and just more, which is amazing, which is really amazing. I would actually like to just show it to you, but I do not have any. Well, maybe I'm having it on Chrome. It's a little bit fucked up now because I can't even just stop the recording now and do it. Well, yeah, let's actually move on. Move on with the last one, I guess. I assume. Yeah, it's actually the last one. Visual cues can be used to drive short-term and long-term motivation. The paperclip strategy can provide daily motivation, but you start from scratch each day. However, another type of visual cue, like the Don't Break the Chain calendar that I described in my article on the Seinfeld strategy, can be used to showcase your consistency over longer periods of time. By sticking these two methods together, you can create a set of visual cues that motivate and measure your habits over the short term or short run and the long run. Which for me means like I'm visualizing it that way. I'm gonna tell it to you. I'm visualizing it like, okay, you have the paperclip strategy, which is obviously short term. In the short term, you're actually somehow keeping track of your progress by moving your paperclips. But you could also do it like, okay, every single day when you have completed the paperclips and you've completely moved the paperclips, you're gonna just, write a 1 or write a good, or you just check a box in a calendar. And you're doing this every single day, And I think it basically does the exact same thing, It's, it ensures your progress, or you see your progress. Okay, you've done it for just 15 days. I'm not gonna stop it. Then you also get reminded of it. Okay, I haven't done it this day, so probably I'm not having done the paperclips. Or if you have done the paperclips, but you've just not checked the box or whatever it is, then you'll just get reminded by the paperclips as well on that other thing. Well, yeah, I think, at least I guess it is what he means. Really unfortunate once again that I'm not able to just check that right now, because this is something that I haven't been gone through while I was at the train, because went through this article while I was on the train, because I've finished uploading all the posts for tomorrow. And then I always just search for new articles, things that I could go through, things that I could just check out and present to you and give to you, some information that is actually valuable. I'm also just focusing more on providing value in terms of the posts that I'm putting out on social media in general, like on Instagram and Facebook and whatever there is. Hit me up, by the way. Hit me up on all those platforms. I'm always there. But Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat not, unfortunately. Email, you could email me if you want to. Well, yeah, those ways, yeah. So creating your own paperclip strategy, There are all sorts of ways to use the paperclip strategy for your own goals. Hoping to do 100 push-ups a day, start with 10 paperclips and move one over each time you drop down and do a set of 10 throughout the day. Need to send 25 sales emails every day. Start with 25 paperclips and toss one to the other side each time you press send. Want to drink 8 glasses of water each day, something that I struggle with, by the way. Start with 8 paperclips and slide one over each time you finish a glass. Not sure if you're taking your medication 3 times per day? Set 3 paperclips out and flip one into the bin each time you swallow your pills. Best of all, the entire strategy will cost you less. So the best of all, the entire strategy will cost you less than $10, or maybe even nothing if you do just have some paperclips. I do also have to say, you could just do it with something else. You could just do it with chewing gum, because I'm just seeing my empty chewing gum box there. Unfortunately, it's empty. And you could do it with pens. I'm having just such a box there, in front of me, and it's basically like a box or a few boxes stick together, and there's just some pens in there. You could just move them around, as well. But I think a good thing is to actually have a dedicated box or dedicated boxes to do that, so that there's no because my pens inside of this boxes right there. It is okay, I'm always gonna use them. And maybe I'm gonna just, pick one whatsoever, and then I just somehow get confused because it's actually my habit cue thing and whatsoever. So yeah, I guess it is actually pretty good to have a dedicated box or 2 dedicated boxes for your behavior or habit setting goals. Yeah, at least for me. For me, it would make sense if you're okay, you're not having the money for extra boxes. I get that. Then just don't do it, or just make one, out of paper or out of some cardboard if you have something laying around. But yeah. So first of all, grab a box of standard paper clips. So here's a cheap set. He's actually linked one. I guess it is probably from Amazon, Get 2 standard paper clip holders. Here you go. Another link. And the third one is pick your habit and start moving those bad boys from one side to the other. Trent Verismite, which is actually kind of the inventor, quote unquote, of the paperclip strategy, decided that success in his field came down to one core task: making more sales calls. And he was having 25 paperclips, and every time he just called someone or he did a sale call, he moved one paperclip of the 25 to just the other bin or just the other box or glass or whatever it was. I don't remember, not that important. And yeah, the paperclip strategy was born, and he was able to just make a lot of money through this strategy because it is motivating, I guess, and you're ensuring that you're doing shit. A lot of people are not doing shit, but if you're doing it, you're probably gonna do more shit, because it is more you're focusing on, you're more focused on just flipping your paper bins than just complaining and dwelling about making the next call, I guess. Yesterday I've been talking about there's some distance between you and the actual thing that you're doing, and the habit or the habit cue and or the paper clips or this act of moving the paper clips is somehow the part between you and the thing that you're doing or the task that you're doing. And I think it is great because there's, at least I feel it, I somehow feel that there's something in between. It's, for me, it really seems okay, there is some distance between you and the task through or by the paper clips, which is good because you're then concentrating on the paper clips and not on the shitty task that you're doing or the shitty thing that you're doing. He discovered that mastering the fundamentals is what makes the difference. The same is true for your goals. There is no secret sauce. There is no magic bullet. Good habits are the magic bullet. This article is an excerpt from chapter 16 of my New York Times best-selling book, Atomic Habits. So read more here. I'm also going to read the footnote because there are some and probably, maybe there is something interesting for you. So I was introduced to Trent Thursmith through my friend Nathan Barry. The quotes in this article came from an email exchange I had with Thursmith on April the 1st, 2015 and April the 2nd, 2015. A related article, everybody already knows that is very different from everybody already does that. Yeah, because doing and knowing or knowing and doing completely different things, because people know shit. I know shit as well and I don't act on it, and it is fucking stupid and you should not be doing that. And I should also not be doing that. And the third one is, on a related note, visual cues can also be used to provide fear-based motivation. I have heard of weight loss clients moving glass marbles from one jar to another for each pound they lose. Once you move a marble over, you definitely don't want to move it back. Makes sense. Really makes sense. It is actually also, because it just reminds me on the thing, the empowered effect or whatever it is actually called. There's also something related to it, which is the fear of us of losing things. We actually hate losing things. This is one of the reasons why, let me think, because there's actually just something correlated to that, which is also very interesting. I think for us, it is more pain for us losing things than it is just pleasure of gaining something, even if it's the exact same thing, which I think is also the effect, or is the effect is also describing that. And there's also a lot of different things that this effect is just used by or used in, like in behavioral, just psychologics, then economical behavior, or what he said. So there are different areas where this effect was used, was discovered, whatever it is. But somehow we hate losing things, or we hate giving away things. Because there's so much pain somehow just correlated to that. Yeah, it is actually very interesting. It is. But I understand it. I do not want to lose things. I do not want to not gain things. So I do not want to just get rid of them. Unless it is actually something that I want to get rid of. But you know what I mean. I do not want to lose things, which is very interesting. And it is actually when I'm gaining something, it's probably gonna be good for just, I don't know, a few days. But if I'm losing something, probably this up, I think, higher, that I'm gonna be pissed about it for a way longer time than me being happy for the thing that I've gained just beforehand or just afterwards or whatever it is. But it's been an amazing episode. Thank you very much for listening to this and watching this. And this is going to be the end of the episode. I really hope from the bottom of my fucking heart that you're doing well, that everything is okay at your place with your family and everyone that you love. And I wish you the best health, of happiness, and also success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself on how you're gonna be remembered, which basically means your legacy. But something is to be said, which is, no matter how nice and no matter how generous you are, there's gonna be someone that hates you, or at least doesn't like you, just because it is us, maybe, or maybe even not. I don't know. I somehow feel like that people are this way, we are that way. I don't know. The thing is, think about that, and also think about your purpose. And a few questions that might help you with that is, what are you trying to change? What pisses you off the most on this planet? And why are you here? Answer these questions and you might be just having your purpose. You might be finding your purpose. Would be amazing. Would really be amazing. But with that being said, I see you the next time. Hopefully subscribe if you've liked it. Like if you've liked it. Subscribe to the podcast and the video channel or the YouTube channel actually. So save some time with the podcast and get the full thing with the video. So thank you very much. Really, from the bottom of my fucking heart, I'm really grateful that I'm actually able to sit here and that I've actually started the process and the journey of sitting here every single day, recording something and putting it out. It is amazing. It makes me happy. It is just insanely well. And now I'm gonna run, hopefully. I'm gonna take a run pretty quickly because I have to, because today is my cardio day. And do I want to? Somehow. Do I really want to? I don't know. thing is, I'm still gonna do it, which is called discipline, I guess. No, sorry for being cocky there. Yeah, I'll see you the next time, hopefully. Bye. Thank you again.